YouTube, how you guys doing? Welcome back to week number 12 of Apple Weekly. A few stories, not that much, a few stories, funny and serious ones to cover this week. Getting started, Steve Jobs was in Hong Kong to launch his new application for the iPhone. You might be wondering, what on earth are you talking about? A company in Hong Kong introduced a new iPhone application, and they're quite smart as to the way they marketed it. They held a press event and there was a clone of Steve Jobs, as you can see from the screen. Done very nicely. Marketing definitely did work because every major press pretty much picked it up. Business Insider, the Mac tech websites, Engadget, Gizmodo, and some of the news stations, BBC and so on, picked it up as well. So it was a win-win for the company who launched the iPhone, and it looked pretty funny. So now you know if you want to release a new application or any product, do it the Steve way. The second story is in relation to an iPhone 4. Now this is limited edition, and I say limited edition because this phone is unique. It's going to only cost you £5 million or roughly $8 million US. There's only ever going to be two made, so the chances of you bumping into someone having this are quite rare. It's made by a guy in Britain who's quite famously known for kind of redecorating tech and devices. So he's got two. It's got 500 individual flawless diamonds worth more than 100 carats, 53 additional diamonds on the back side, and as you can see from the images there, it looks pretty phenomenal. I just hope you guys have some sort of insurance on it, because imagine losing this thing and then that's £5 million pound going down the drain pretty much. So going to be lucky if any insurer actually takes you on. But definitely, if you are in the market for one, get in touch with this guy. I'm sure he's already got some Arabs lined up or some Chinese people lined up to get this. Apparently an Australian guy has put an order in for one of these, meaning there's only one left. So if you manage to get one, leave a video response, because that would be quite cool to watch, and just hope the packaging of it is pretty nifty. Next story is going to be interesting for you guys in the United States. The iPad is heading over to Verizon, which is a good move, not just for the iPad but for the iPhone 4 and generally the upcoming version of the iPhone in the next couple of months or years, because that's obviously signalling that Apple want to move up and beyond AT&T. So come 28th of October this year, next few days, you will be able to walk into a Verizon store, pick up an iPad 3G on Verizon, and that's really all to it. I mean, whenever I hear the story about Verizon and so on, I kind of ignore them because every Tom, Dick and Harry service provider here in the UK has got it. So I'm not really bothered. But I know a lot of you guys in the States, don't want AT&T, you don't get good coverage, you don't get good customer service, you want to move over. Understandable. Now it's here for the iPad, no doubt. It will probably come to the iPhone, so happy days for you guys. Apple has been awarded a new patent, and this patent is called the anti-sexting patent. Basically what it does is it's for parents and kids, so parents can enable this feature on their phone, and this will allow, if someone sends you a rude text message or pornographic, sex, violent, whatever it is, it will automatically delete the text and or send that text on to your parents, so your mum and dad knows what's happening. Now there's a lot of uproar in the blogosphere or the interwebs as to why Apple is doing this. My personal opinion on this, I think it's good only if it's optional. If this is going to be standard across the iPhones, which I don't think it is, because let's face it, not every iPhone user is a kid. So it'd be stupid of Apple to implement this thinking everyone is a kid, because they're not. I would rather have it in settings, so if you want to enable it, if you're giving a phone to your kid, if you're giving an iPhone more or less, give it to your kid, enable it. You might want it for that extra bit of security. If you want to use it for a personal use, obviously you want all that kind of text messages for a laugh and so on. So I don't see a problem with that. But if it comes already enabled on the iPhone, I'm a big thing against it. I don't want it. But if something is optional, then more security is always good. So I think it's going to be interesting if Apple implement this. I can see them implementing it for the future. Now that Apple, the iPhone is doing well, a lot of people buying it, and it's just going to make people, sort of parents more or less, want to get the iPhone over the Android more, in my opinion. But what do you guys think on this topic? It's a very sort of interesting topic per se, and I can see it doing well despite a lot of negatives around the issue. But then again, there's not been much sort of revealed. All we know is Apple have been awarded this, how they're going to use it, if they are at all going to use the many thousands of patents they apply for but don't use, but just have a patent for it. So interesting times ahead if this gets implemented. There's more speculation that there will be an iLife update come Wednesday at the Back to Mac event. Apple retail stores are apparently drying up on stock and they're not getting any more stock in, hence that kind of points to a refresh. I made a separate video on the Back to Mac event. If you click here, you can go directly to that video and see what I thought about what I think about the event. Just to recap quick: MacBook Air refresh, iWork refresh, iLife refresh, preview of OS Line. I doubt we're going to see Line this year. I'd be surprised. Apple tend to usually give us a year in advance as to what they're going to sort of do. So they'll probably show us a few screenshots, a few demos. That'll get the Mac developers ready up for this upcoming release. So don't expect to get it this year. And apparently the MacBook Air is going to get sort of a significant redesign. So that'll be very interesting. A price cut on the MacBook Air would be very welcome, because I think it really needs to go below the £1,000 mark, in my opinion, if it was to, you know, stay in the market. But what do you guys think? What do you want from this event? And yeah, will there be a live stream by Apple for this event? We don't know yet. Probably find out like 2 days before, or Monday, when Apple holds their conference call. They probably won't announce it at the conference call, but around Monday and Tuesday we will find out if Apple is going to be streaming this event. I can't see why they won't be streaming, because they streamed the last event, so not streaming this event would be kind of make them awkward. The next story is about Foxconn, and no, it's not about people committing suicide. It's about Foxconn raising prices for not only Apple but other manufacturers as well, and in specific they're raising prices of building manufacturing costs for the iPhone. If this were to be true and the company isn't denying it, then possibly Apple might pass the charges on to us, which would kind of make sense from a business point of view, pass the costs on to the customers. But then again, you know, when you go out to buy a SIM-free iPhone, it's not cheap. £500 for the base model of the iPhone 4, which is ridiculous. What do you guys think? Should the customer pay or should the company pay? Obviously you're going to say the customer pays, but just look at it from a total point of view. Half and half depends, but then again it depends how much the prices are being raised. If it's, you know, personally I think Apple should pay for it entirely, simply because the numbers are selling. It's still sold out in the UK, believe it or not. You can't walk into a store and get one. You still have to put your name down, reserve one. There's a waiting time on online, so it's, you can't say the shifting so much. So I personally think Apple should say, okay, because we're doing so much, it's selling well, we'll take the hit. But what are your opinions on it? What are your thoughts on it? The next story is about the rescued miners in Chile, and they got gifts and from none other than Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is sending 64 gig iPod touches to every single rescued miner. Still a few people moaning, oh, you know, why is he not getting this type of model? Why is he not getting this from Steve Jobs, and so on. My personal opinion is, even if he gave out shuffles, I would not mind. These guys should be lucky. A, they're alive, and B, they're getting 64 gig iPod touches and FaceTime features. So if for whatever reason you happen to get captured again, they've still got FaceTime available. But that aside, the amount of fame these guys are going to get is ridiculous. Newspapers are paying these guys so much. They want a story, they want exclusive access. These guys will probably leave their current jobs and just make a living off the payments they're going to get from the press and media over the next few weeks. So yeah. But guys, that's it for this week's stories. That's all the news pretty much. The main story, of course, being the upcoming Mac event on Wednesday. I've been looking forward to this for some time now, and yeah, good luck to all of those who've been waiting for a Mac refresh so you can go out and get your purchase. It's going to be well worth it in my opinion. And if you don't like what's going to be coming, you can still get it off the refurbished store. But let's wait and see what happens on Wednesday. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember, you can join me on iGlaswegian.com, twitter.com/i6glaswegian. Also got a Facebook fan page, facebook.com/iGlaswegian. Ask me any question that you have on Facebook, Twitter, or send me an email through the website and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.